Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to Dead Serious Investigations. I'm your host and lead investigator, Duran Conrad, in Dead Serious Investigations. I also have my fellow investigator here.
My name is Brandon, or you could call me B. Will.
Yep. He's also my lead editor. Very important guy. He's a skeptic, too. He's never experienced anything paranormal ever, so I think you're going to be in for a one hell of a ride. So... so he has questions for me on a lot of this stuff. I'm going to share an experience that I had when I was younger. And, if you have any questions, let me know. I am going to give you whatever answers that I have. Now, the experience that I am going to share with you, I was very little. Probably started all these experiences when I was little at 5, all throughout my teenage years, my early 20s. I was still experiencing them. As I got older, it slowly started dying off. Things still happen here and there, but not too often. I would say even I'll go through like 8 months with not a single thing happening. But throughout my childhood, it was pretty active, and this encounter that I had is something I'll never forget. And my older brother even experienced it too, and he didn't even know that I saw the same thing that he was seeing until we were much older. And this experience was, I was laying in my bed on the top bunk, and I could feel something moving around in the room, even though I had my eyes closed. I open up my eyes, and I feel something not right. Like, I just felt trouble in my room. And I lift up my head and look over the bars on my bunk bed, and I could see something. When your eyes adjust to pitch black, and after like 10 minutes your eyes start to kind of adjust so you could kind of see stuff, and that look of when something is solid, it's going to be darker than the shade of darkness that your eyes are able to project. Right. Yeah. And I'm seeing that walking in the room, going back and forth, like someone's pacing in my room. Like somebody was in my room, and it was freaking me out, right? So I'm frozen stiff, almost in a paralysis state. Like I can't scream, I can't do nothing, I can't yell for help. And so I'm just stuck watching this thing. It stops pacing back and forth, and it stops at our closet. We had no closet doors. They're completely taken off the hinges. We've never had closet doors as long as I remember. And my brother had a bunch of his nice stuff that he made. He was into like making a lot of different stuff, and he had a lot of expensive stuff. And they were all kept on the highest part of the shelf. And underneath that was like all the clothes all on the hangers. Anyways, it stops right at the beginning of the closet. And all of a sudden, I see another one, like, start happening. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. It just started, it just appeared there, the same looking type of entity.
So there are two of them?
Yeah, all of a sudden there was two on both sides of the closet, and it didn't have a shape. I couldn't even say it had a human form or a cloak, or, like, it literally looked like a jelly bean, I guess is to describe the shape. And this jelly bean formed into something like it shapeshift, like it turned into something else. It was like it all of a sudden it had arms and legs like a human, but the arms and legs were much longer than what human arms and legs should be. So it almost was like some type of weird what do you call it? A tall walker type, like a Slender Man like type length arms and legs, like just grabbing onto the walls, and it started crawling the walls. That's both freaky. Of them, and they know I'm watching. They're looking at me, and they're grabbing my brother's stuff, picking it up, and trying to stuff it in their pockets while they're looking at me, and they're looking at me like that. like kind of try to focus on me, like what are you gonna do about it, kind of like taunting me,
Yeah.
like I'm taking your brother's stuff, like what are you gonna do about it? And they're grabbing it, and you could hear it just tumbling on the ground. It's just going right through them because obviously they're not solid form like us, and just be able to take it and walk out. These things were falling right through them, like they thought that they're really gonna be stealing this stuff, and they were just looting our stuff, just picking it up and putting it in their pockets and looking at me, and like you could see the movements. They're like that, and then they'd go back and look like that, and then come back, and I I just remember at one point where I finally was able to move myself because, like I said, I was in a paralysis state. I couldn't even think. I couldn't. The only thing I could do was just watch and fear. And once I was able to finally like move back because I was gonna start trying to move my covers over me, it's almost like it triggered them to stop doing what they were doing and come mess with me. So as soon as I started leaning back, they immediately dropped from what they were doing, and all of a sudden I felt the bed kind of like shift like that, like someone like grabbed onto the bars, and I immediately went whoom like the blanket, you know what I'm saying? And this thing was I could feel like hands like grabbing the bars, like imagine the vibrations of hands grabbing hollow metal bars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's that feeling of on the bed. And I'm just like praying to myself, like please, 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 like just go away, like praying to God and just like doing whatever it takes, like just pleading for like this to stop happening, and thinking that it was gonna work, and it didn't work for me, and I think it's because I just fed it so much fear. Because I was scared, like I ain't gonna lie, like I was so scared I didn't know what to do. I was a little ass kid too, and like I mentioned in a previous vlog, I felt like that brushing of the fingers on my blanket, and I felt my blanket actually being kind of lightweight tugged, like it was kind of like trying to pull my blanket off, and I could feel my blanket moving, and then get this, I also feel what was like walking on the bed, like something ran across the bed. And as soon as that happened, I immediately kind of like peeked my eyes out, and the freaking thing's in front of me like this, and it's doing like this kind of motion to its face, like as if it's like I couldn't tell if it was trying to like grab me and like try to like take bites out of me or something, or if it was just like
looks like it's trying to rip its
like
face
it ripped
off.
its face off. Yeah, like it's trying to change itself, maybe change its look.
Yeah.
I don't know what this was, but it was doing this arm motion like this, and everything just kind of went blurred to me at that point, and I almost felt like I was gonna black out. And just before I felt like I was gonna black out, I leaped myself through whatever this thing was, and almost I really screwed myself up, almost rolling off the bed, because I jumped off that bunk bed and rolled on the ground and went to my parents' room. Boom, 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 boom. Mom, let me in. Mom, let me in. Like, and I was so scared. Like, and I remember telling my parents, I'm like, I am not going back in that room. And my parents were upset. Like, they were like, no, you're going back in your room. Like, my parents are just being parents, you know what I mean? Like, they're trying to, like, make it, like, you're just seeing things because you're tired. And I'm like, no, I felt all that. I experienced all it, and I felt it all. And I was like, that was enough for me to not want to go back in that room. And I remember they slammed the door shut on me, and they're like, you're not coming in our room. They shut the door, and I remember looking back at that room, and it was just so dark you couldn't even see anything, like as if there was just a black mass like in the threshold of my room, like right there in the door threshold, like there was something like a wall of dark, like if I go through that, it's just gonna take my soul or something. Like I just had that feeling, like if I go back in there, I'm done. Like, and that's like the sense, that the feeling I got when I looked back at that room. And I thought to myself, I was like, I'm not going back in that room. And I slept right there in that hallway until the crack of dawn came up. well, whenever I had to use the toilet, basically, is when I woke up and had to use the restroom, and that's when I finally went back to my room. And at that time, the sun was already breaking through the clouds. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was probably one of my most memorable experiences.
Yeah.
Those three that I was talking about yesterday were pretty big. This one was pretty big, especially the fact that my brother witnessed most of this stuff because he said that he was experiencing this many times and he never told anybody. And when I was talking about this to my brother, because we brought up the Foreman house, and I was like, yeah, I had seen all these shadow figures in the room like all the time, and they were grabbing your stuff, and your stuff would be on the ground the next morning. He was like, oh my God. He's like, you saw that too? I was like, wait a minute. You've been seeing this the whole time. You never told me? Like, it's just crazy that thought that, like, out of all these years, you finally have a little bit of closure that someone else saw it with you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I think maybe my brother was stuck in that paralysis state just like I was, or maybe my brother just slept through it because he was tired as hell. I don't know.
Yeah.
But all I know is that I experienced that. I don't know what it was. I can't explain it. I can't say it was spirits, demons, what it was. It's unexplainable to me though. But the feelings and everything that I got in that experience, I feel like there was something sinister in there that was definitely supernatural in nature. But yeah, I don't know.
Sure sounds like it.
Yeah.
I don't know how you didn't scream and yell and all that.
Like, have you ever experienced anything like where you were so scared, not like something paranormal, but just anything in general, like where you're so scared,
You're petrified?
you're petrified and feared to be able to even do anything? Like, say, like, you're in a situation where someone's severely hurt and like almost in a fatal injury, but they're still alive. And you're so petrified and feared on what to do, like you
couldn't
come a
move
freeze in fear for a
yeah.
moment. You ever get
Okay.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what
Yeah.
you're
So
talking about.
imagine that, but that feeling you're getting from just an energy in your room causing you to feel that way. I mean, how does something that is invisible to the human eye or that you can't even really see or touch in that nature, it maybe be able to see it but not touch it, something that is like that could do that to you, like that's just an energy. But it's just crazy that really comes to show to me that these energies, these spirits, these demons, um, that are capable of making you feel these ways, it's just crazy what these energies could do, because spirits are basically light, like energy. They're that's what they are. They're energy, and these energies could manipulate many different types of emotions to people and really mess with your emotions. So um, these things knew what I think they were trying to do, and they were enjoying it. They were scaring the hell out of me, as a child, and they were picking on me as a child. I was the middle child. I was very young. The spirits, they're very attracted to kids. They have a stronger life force. They have an innocence that they like to attach themselves to. They're attracted to that, and that's why I think a lot of kids actually tend to see these things and hear these things a lot more than adults. And yeah, the more that we get into these investigations, I feel like you'll start actually building up a sense of energy to these things as well.
How so?
By opening yourself up to it.
Okay.
So the more open you start doing this, you're hunting for them, you start experiencing them, you start actually witnessing this stuff. These spirits know that you have encountered spirits before. Demons are known to know the future as well. And on my studies that I've done. And so they know what you're there for. They know that you have encountered and made contact with spirits before. You go back to a haunting, an investigation of a house that you've already done before. You make a second trip. Sometimes it's said that you get intelligent responses from the spirits actually saying your name most of the time, because they know you now. And it's just experiences like that the more investigations we do, the more you're opening yourself up to the spirit side, and the more encounters you're going to be encountering, because you're building up an energy to the spiritual realm.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess we'll wrap this up. But yeah, everybody, Brandon/B Wills, this guy is gonna be cool. I think that we're gonna have one hell of an investigation when we get started. So yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up, subscribe, and happy nightmares, you guys.